All right. Hello, hello, hello. All right. It looks like you guys can hear me as far as the soundbar goes. There was an update, so sometimes when there's an update, I lose sound. Um, we'll see. We'll see if it lasts. Anyway, all right. Was I right or was I right? Look at this. No raise. Said it yesterday. I was like, with that data, not going to be surprised at all if there's no raise, and that'll be the big question in the morning. But it'll set up an opportunity minus 120, minus 160, and they're retracing a little bit in the last hour. Obviously, the profit taking coming in. So yeah, damn, we nailed that one right on. Look at that. Got it. Also, Swiss did not raise. That one I wasn't sure about. Again, you don't hear as much out of Swiss. The volume's not there, but again, good opportunity in that one. Up 92. Again, not having that raise. And we actually called for this one yesterday as well, that this would be kind of a long base trade. Because, if it comes in at 2, everybody expected that. They weren't going to, it was expected to raise. They weren't going to do a double raise, right? But if they hit it, if they raise, all the retail traders would have gone for a, strong Swiss position. And it tends to be weak. And if they didn't raise, also weak. So there was 2 weeks versus one long. And there you go. And again, up 92. So again, nice little trade there. So and on top of that, we got some dollar strength rolling in from yesterday as well. Not surprising. Besides that, again, no raise. Unemployment claims much lower than expected. So again, lumping on to the dollar strength train. Philly manufacturing index down. Stop. No, you watch your play. Um, manufacturing index is down. It was expected to be down. It was down. We're going to get to comments from Lagarde. She'll be speaking in a little bit. Existing home sales aren't going to matter. And then obviously the tentative monetary policy statement sometime today from the yen, most likely later today. So stop. You can sit on my lap and watch your play, but we're not going to hit the microphone. Um, so, yeah, news is out. Again, not really surprised with the UK with their CPI data coming down yesterday the way that it did. Not surprised. Think it's the right move. Again, the name of the game is everybody's pausing. And that's what we saw yesterday from the Fed. The pause, the statements were out there. Again, massive movements. We didn't get all the way up to the zones, but there was enough telltale signs. I'll show you that inside of the charts as well. Tomorrow. All right, tomorrow. Retail sales. Expect to be good. I'm actually wondering if this is going to be not as good as what they expected, and it will be another week-based trade. We'll see. Retail sales tends to be a big one, and then tomorrow we have all the PMI data coming in, all the flash stuff, right? As far as what they look like, the pound services is the only one that's even remotely, kind of in like a normal striking distance from the 50 number. But again, it's expected to be down, a slight adjustment before, but neither of them breaks above 50. And with all the pound data that we've seen lately, again, it doesn't look like it has the possibility of going. So it doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy. CAD's got their retail sales data expected to be good. Question is, will it be as good? Will it be better? I'm assuming that it won't be. If I had to make a guess, I think they're going to be on or maybe a little bit less than what's expected. So we'll see. And then obviously flash services in the US, that's somewhat close, and maybe manufacturing jumps. But again, flash manufacturing is at 80.48. You can see that again, the Philly data today. Stop. You watch your play. That he thinks I'm talking to him. As far stop. Um we're within striking distance of showing contraction, but I don't think we'll actually get there to that contraction based level. Okay. Um so yeah. Yeah. I you know I feel like services should be okay. The manufacturing, I don't think that's jumping. I think this will be okay. There is an adjustment down. It's going to be slight up. Maybe if anything on the board tomorrow is again jumping over that 50 borderline, it's going to be this one. It's the only one that's really close or has the ability to do it. Does that really change much for tomorrow? I feel like no. Um, you know, Probably not. Like I said, people are digesting, the Fed data, and kind of what we're doing with it. There'll be plenty of opinions out. We'll kind of see a little bit more. Excuse me. Seeing what the slowdown and everything looks like, inside of services and manufacturing. Yeah, I think we're there. Um, all right, so that's where we're at. Obviously, a lot of movement today. A lot of it, again, is from FOMC yesterday, and then obviously the pound data today blowing it up. And even the 35 over here up, you're seeing it, the profit taking is coming in, but it should be up right now. It absolutely should. And again, that man, storybook day for week for the pound. All right, so let's jump across. You can see there's a big move in there. VIX obviously up. Why is it up? Well, because what the Fed says, right? What is this? Deflation is the most du jour in EU food rent. Okay, great. Trying to play fancy with the titles. Again, you see the gap down in the middle, the push higher. So yes, is it justified? Yes. Fade the Fed statement. Pause, but again, still talking about economic growth means that the Fed isn't red lighted, right? There's not that that hard stop right there. Talking about their kind of strong economic growth. Um, Overall, I think the VIX obviously deserves to be up. All the indices currently right now in the red again. Is it dollar strength? Dollar, I mean, we had the big pop. I mean, you can see right down here. It cleared everything. And again, really from yesterday, it just took off. And then today, obviously, there was the big push. And where it is, again, we're back at that 105.50. It is high on the curve right now. We absolutely know that. It's strong. I think it's justified the statement that was made. Kind of not, I mean, I'm not surprised by it, but I think the market was a little taken back by it. You know, and that's what I thought. I thought there was two scenarios yesterday, right? The one that happened, the kind of pause, but one more before the end of the year, and kind of a more of a hawkish statement about what was going to happen next. Or two, they would raise it and basically say that they are done for the year, which I thought would have been on the weaker side. So it kind of for me, the highest probability scenario is exactly what happened. And that's what I saw. Because of it, again, raising it one more time, it's like, but it's high. Well, guess what? We're not, again, getting down to 2% is hard. Trying to prevent entrench is hard. And then again, seeing the inflation in commodities also hard. Right now, we jump down. All the indices are in the red, I think it's kind of justified today. Commodities, gold and silver. Or, I'm sorry, gold and silver both down again. Strong dollar. We're gonna do the good fight, and you can see silver under 23 again, which we kind of expected as well, down 1% right now, right? Crude is up 1.2%. Again, we saw the inventories down yesterday. Not as much as they could have been, but they are up. Hovering around that 91 mark, right? Again, it's Thursday. I really don't want to close above 90. There is a storm coming in. We're having to change some plans this weekend because it's like pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be here this weekend. Natural gas up a little tiny bit, a smidge, 273. Again, I think it's a little high, but eh, eh, it is where it is, right? It is where it is. Crude is the one that I'm kind of worried about there. I really don't want to close. I really don't want to be up there. Supposedly it's unsustainable, but again, the Fed making statements about strong economic growth. When there's strong growth, people don't tend to mind paying a little bit more when there's strong economic growth. So yeah, it's kind of where the movement is. Love for that one to come down. As far as everything else, again, here's the move, right? We were looking for real clean entries. Once you started to see this, at 12:30, 1 o'clock, it started to cap itself out. It's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, the floor fell out, right? And you can see, look at the basing right around here, right around that old level. You weren't trying to play reverse on this one. You weren't looking for that one. And again, it'd been here, boom, boom, boom. This is hit number 4. Look, 1, 2, 3, and this is hit number 4. 4 broke it, came back, didn't really Harry Potter, and it pushed it all the way back down. Now, it did push again. This would have been the opposing zone down here, and you can see that it did kind of chop back and forth through it, and we're kind of sitting in it right now. Overall, the hard part about this one, finding a reversal area, was because the candle over here was just absolute trash for drawing a level. I mean, it is what it is. This was also very indecisive, but very strong up and down movement, but a lot of indecision. It makes it really, really hard. And as far as clean entry goes, the next one's not till all the way down here. So could we reverse it back again? Sure. Is the Aussie strong in the dollar right now? No. Again, easy play yesterday, and where we are right now, we're kind of stabilizing. So, it passed the 78 on this side. We can take this one. We can run it from here down. And you can see it's kind of flirting. If anything, if you're looking for something kind of minor today, again, with some profit taking coming in, that's where it would have been. It looks like the 930 candle is like, nah, strong dollar. Could you take it here? What? No, I don't need to. Share your subscription for Microsoft 360 with 6 people, and you can get this free. No, thank you. Oh crap. Okay, Nvidia, do not update right now, Nvidia. if this thing, if it suddenly cuts out, goes black, or the sound disappears, Nvidia just shot me a message. Should you update now? No, no. Nvidia's auto updating. It's not. It's not. But it looks like it's trying to. Okay. Kip is now passed out of my arms. So hold on one sec. Let me move his play. Turn the volume down just a little bit. Put it right there. I'm gonna move my coffee so he doesn't accidentally twitch and kick my coffee over. We know how bad that would be. Um. So all right. So where we are. If we get another little kick up, it could be a decent point. There's no real main buyers down here that I'm super worried about. This is just the profit taking from the big move yesterday. But the move is in. We expected it to be there. We didn't get the clean entry up top, which is fine. Right now, again, areas you can look at. Again, the 23 level, the 64.19, and then the old level here could be an area. And again, it was a nice little pushback before another surge forward. That would be the two that I have on my radar right now. I'd be looking at for additional shorts to the downside. And I do think overall, again, shorts are not necessarily a bad thing. Change this one to red. There. Let's pull this off. We can delete the news thing right now. There. Depending on when we get there, right? Again, I think it's been there before. Um, with a little bit of a confirmation, this really would have been the trade right here, the 3 o'clock this morning. Push down again. I'd like to see what it does from here. Okay. Also yen. Also the big push. Now we were talking about 96.16. We made it to 96.08. It ran into this level right here, right? Ran into this push right here is what it ran into right before this level. We missed it by just a little tad. Again, pushed all the way back to the downside. We talked about this little bit right here, and again, it wasn't obviously once it went higher, it was not at 50, but this is an old kind of confirmed level that we had some touches off of. When we bring this up, though, you can see that it was a 61.8. So the level changed and it went from a 50 to a 61.8, and that's what we bounced off of today. As far as again, I had it yellow because depending on what the news was, we were looking for a push down, and it was really more of a profit target at that point, not a reversal. So it is reversing off of it, but again, with the push down with the yen right now, again coming down, there was no main buyers in here. It becomes a target first, then shorts. All right, so right now, I think it's important to know that that's a 61.8. If we start to break through it, it's fine. There's another little backstop sitting here at the 78. I don't think I would go long off that one either. But right now, with the push in one day, really from yesterday, I think it's important to look at kind of where the levels are lining up. Right now, there's a little level of the 23. It's all right. I think this will continue to push lower. And I'm wondering if, like, we run into buyers here and then that becomes 61.8. Maybe. Maybe there. Hmm. So if it uses the old 78.6, the 50% level comes to the testing here. This becomes that you can see there's a 61.8 drop, base drop, kind of retest and punch. Um, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I like the 78.6 level more. I don't care that it's a 78.6, but I do like the fact that it's been barely kind of front run off of it. I think that's more the target today. Um, this reversal is going to get a little bit of action, but I'm wondering if we can punch through. I think there's a potential down here, depending on when we hit this. I mean, obviously there's some data, but 94.17. Um, again, I don't care that the 78.6 doesn't like add anything to it to me. It's a nice to know, but it doesn't add anything to where I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, right? Um, it's not one of those levels where I'm getting really. It's 50, 61, I got it. 78, not as concerned. Okay, but keep that on your radar. Euro dollar, nice push up. So this one, it ended up again 1230 was the turning point. And we knew this entire area. We talked about a profit target at 78.28. We knew there could be a potential turn in here. And what you can see is it kind of pulled back, and it's like, oh yeah, it's going, it's going, it's dollar strength move. They jacked it all the way up, and it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and then huge push to the downside. So again, very very big move, top to bottom. This move was kind of what you expect, right? 120 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 166, or I'm sorry, 68, right? So, did kind of what it was. Yeah, again, not nothing surprising. Now we've kind of stabilized. We knew we had buyers back in this area. We talked about it, but again, they were targets. Um, so knowing that that's what the move is, we can remove this there. Again, we don't need this. Let's see, 106.20. This is that's exactly what it's done. All right. So it's going off of a level. I think right now that this one is probably going to continue back to the downside. You guys can see that there's a zone sitting right there. Looking at a zone right in there, right? Um, I it's it spent way too much time in this level. Let's see. No, it's a little bit higher. I would say this is probably not a trade setup, and the reason why is because you do not have enough space between an area of buyers and an area of sellers. Okay. Do I understand this turn? Absolutely. We went back. There was a confirmed level there, and that's what it ran into. It went back up, and you can see it kind of base slash slice through the 23.6 no problem. It didn't turn on the 23.6. It turned on the base, right? The drop base, and then continue push down. Can you take it short? No. Can you take it long? No. We're kind of in a holding pattern. At this point, let's see. How big is it? 15? I don't like 15. If we could get it a little bit smaller. Let me see. What does this look like? Oops. Not a bad little trade there to the top side. You're looking at 11 for like 33 in the other direction. If we can get some basing in here and punch through, and again pulling back to that 50%, there's no confirmed sellers over here on a technical basis. So if we come back up and push in, I think we could look for a potential long trade coming out the top side of this. Okay, something along those lines. And again, it's retracing. Eventually the profit taking will come in. The dollar will restabilize. It is definitely high right now. Um, we just need some data to support it. So again, right now there's nothing we can do because buyers and sellers are way too close proximity. But there was a racetrack based off of news, gut feeling. It will probably retrace back and go back to the origin of the move, which is sitting all the way up here. Again, we just need some data to be able to justify it, and we should be able to punch through. Question is, will it happen today, tomorrow, or will we have to wait till next week? Okay. Euro pound also skyrocketing. Why? Well, the pound data. Called it. Pound data was there. You can see it kind of pulled back down again in time for the news. This one we can extend it up and kind of see where we're at right now. Not really a top. I think this one probably has some more room to go. Right. We know we're clear till at least this area here. Right. I don't think a top's put in this one. Do I want to call the top in it? No. I'm not going to call a top in it yet. this level is. So we should be able to break through. We should be able to break through this level now. We should be able to break through this level. This is going to be the fourth hit of it, but we're backstopped by another level sitting right here. Right? We have a level sitting right there. Right? 108.02. I'm sorry, 87.02. Right? I think that's probably a better place. I think that's probably a better place for reversal again. We know this is news based. We should see this turn around with the PMI data tomorrow. It's kind of setting up. You can see there's all kinds of speckled things down there tomorrow morning. All these sitting down over here. Retail sales, followed up by all the manufacturing flash data, which again supposed to be pretty crappy. So as long as we can hold and maintain up here, I think this is potentially a short trade for tomorrow morning. But I'd like to see what happens when we push a little bit more. Euro yen. All right, so Euro yen. So we were looking for some type of a basing level, and it kind of gave us a little bit of a base here. It ended up basing. It ended up punching all the way through. It did come back, but it ended up grabbing this upper level here. It used this one and based in there, and then kind of went up and grabbed the upper level. So we were calling for this to push down. We were kind of expecting it, but unfortunately, the entry on it didn't really give us the entry that we were looking for because it pushed too far, right? Um, so could you have gotten into the next level up top? Sure. It would have been a little bit different of a trade once it pulled back up again. So unfortunately, that one we didn't get the entry we were looking for. We did get the base. It just instead of doing this, it punched all the way down, and then unfortunately it did base in there, but it needed to pull back up for the next level. So I mean, you guys can see it's right there. Okay, so pretty close. Again, expected to fail on it. Let's see, we'll go with this one next. Up phase, boom, came back up and grabbed it. That. So this one should have pretty smooth sailing down. There's going to be a little bit of a hiccup right here. These buyers in here will give us a little bit of a hiccup, but we should be able to get down here at the 156.87. If we can get some type of a confirmation plane here, I think that's probably pretty decent. We may be able to get something off of that one, but right now, again, a little bit long to get in now, but I think we pushed the downside. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. What do we got here? We're looking for a push. We're looking for a push here. We never got the pop. It paused in a doji and then started the move. You're like, yep, it's going to drop. And it did. Did exactly what we thought it did. Let's run this all the way down. Mm, yeah, this is what we're playing with right now. Right? We have to chop through all that. So overall, again, look for this one to continue to push the downside. I think this one makes sense. We will eventually see a reversal in the pound, but not yet. I think it continues to go down. Tomorrow's news maybe help out a little bit more. Again, I don't see there's too many changes. I think the dollar is the only one that really kind of stands to be, any type of a game changer tomorrow. Um, Again, maybe the retail sales stuff. Maybe the retail sales. We'll see. Okay. Yeah. So two. So again, yeah, I think this. Again, I don't think it's as strong. So again, I do think this one continues to come lower. 80, 120, 164. Change. Yeah, there's no 30 minute. The 30 minute was removed. He's changing my time frames. He's changing my time frames. He updated them. I didn't have weekly in here. I don't care about weekly. Well, I mean, it's okay. Weekly is fine. But it's like, where's the 30? Like, I want the. Give me my 30 back. I don't care about the weekly. Um. So, yeah, I think this one continues to push to the downside. So just keep an eye on it. Pound yen. All right. So, pound yen. Not really surprised. Here's what the news came out. You can see it pretty clear. Big runner. 200 pips. Right. 200 pips. Um. Run this down. Not. I mean, not really surprised whatsoever. So, kind of doing exactly was what we thought it was going to do. Actually, we can leave that on there. It's fine. Just to know that the 50 is live. 180. What do we got here? Yeah, it's the buyers here. All right. So we can see the blue. Here's the bluesies that use. 180.60 is where I'd be looking for potential reversals. Right now, it's a profit target. Look for it to come down that far. It's got about another what? 70 pips. Okay, a little bit late to get in the trade now, but I think this deteriorates down. If we can get down there for tomorrow for retail sales, we'll see. I just don't think retail sales is going to be earth-shatteringly great. If we retrace a little bit today, again, it could be another short opportunity. We'll see what it does today. Again, right now it's the yen taking over, pushing this one, but you're seeing it's got some buyers. Ideally, I really kind of like this one to push up for retail sales and then look for a short tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. Again, right now, no trade. Too much of a wick down. Not interested. If we can drive all the way down here beforehand, sure, there could be a potential reversal. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, the trade would have been taking this one short, so no surprise. But I like the pound dollar and euro dollar and Aussie dollar much better from yesterday. All right, so dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. Yesterday you can see obviously where the spike came in at 2 o'clock. We were looking for this to push all the way down, and this one ended up missing. We talked about finding one of those targets, and again, you were all the way down here for news. You would not have held this one in news, so you would have taken yourself out of that one. We talked about getting a reversal down here. You can see where the spike happened. We knew FOMC was there. It didn't spike. It started building its red, green, red over here. Its turn came in at 11 o'clock yesterday morning. And just took off as it absolutely should have. We were looking for buys just a little bit lower, but we knew the 134 was going to be an area where there was going to be buying support, and it got it. It launched it higher, so again, trade is out, went all the way up there, has pushed it all the way up, gone above the 135 mark, and next zone we have is kind of sitting here. Whoops, they want to move that. Just want to say a lockable thing. can't move it. Perfect. I was like, man, I keep blocking that one. So this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. Big area of kind of sellers being put in. Not a super clean level in there or any of them. They're all weird shape. None of them are great. They're all small bodied with kind of like a weird wick here and there. So nothing wonderful. And again, that's why dollar cat's been really crappy. It's been very hard to find decent clean zones in it. So we're in the next what are we looking at here? Next 25 pips up. You got a lot we got to really slice through. There is kind of a confirmed level, but it's going to be hit number 3 coming in. Um, here to here. Okay. It's going to be hit number 3. Okay. Hit number 3 is not always the ideal spot, right? I was like, wait, where are we at? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was like, why is it not there? That's the next time we got any room, right? It's going to be hit number 3. Not my favorite hitting number 3, but doesn't mean we can't, potentially look for reversals out there. It's about 30 pips higher. Again, that's a 4-hour move, so not the worst. Not the worst spot. It's okay. Again, if we surge up there today, can we see a reversal? Sure. Problem right now is it's strong dollar versus strong oil. Right now, oil is creeping back a little bit, so maybe we get some help with that one. But again, any news tomorrow that's crappy, and again, we will see some dollar reversal. This is a potential level for I think we're not getting any fib help. Unfortunately, it's not. We're not getting a 50 or 61 trade in there, so take it for what it's worth. Okay. All right. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, no change. Again, we were looking for the potential move over here. We did not drive up for weakness, and yesterday I said, "Hey, look, watch to see what this one does. If we drive up for news, take it short. It didn't. It drove down. It drove it down to this level, and then we went up, and you can see we started the base off of it. So it would have been a profit target. So profit target was hit on this one. And the reason we drew this one is, again, telltale sign. If it goes up for news, it tends to go down, right? Vice versa. If it drives down, whoops. If it drives down before news, it tends to be an up. And that's what we saw, right? It was this move. It drove down for news and then shot straight up. So again, market manipulated. That's fine. Just learn how to play it. That one's over and out at this point. Again, today's surge, not really surprised. Overall, again, it was a great little profit target here late last night, and then we kind of based in there. Interestingly enough, and again, I did not trade this one. I don't know what you think that I did. Um, you guys can see that this rate policy came in at 3:30 in the morning. I'm happy to say that I was not awake at 3:30 in the morning. Again, did not trade this one. I don't want anybody to think that it did. I don't want you to claim that, oh, Brian traded that. I didn't. I didn't trade this one. But could you have traded this one? We knew that the data point was, coming in right here at 3:30. The price drove back down into a level of basing. It was rally, base, rally. And again, you could have taken it there. That is how much risk? 13. So if you want to bring it down to this level here, that kind of boxes off the green bracket. Um, this is what your trade could look like. Right? Taking 10 pips worth of risk. You know my feeling on 10 pips. Absolutely love it. And right there. There we go. Okay. And just blew it out of the water, right? It went 10 for 30. And you could have held this one higher if you really wanted to. And we're stabilizing up there up top. And it should creep back down again. I would assume this one comes back down. We've seen this in a couple of pairs with that massive dollar strength coming in. Profit taking will roll. It will come back down. So, again, is it a great trade setup at this point? Not really. Again, the data was pretty crappy. It was the data technically was no different than the dollar data, but yet the dollar data still, again, kind of drove it right up. We're going to pause, but again, Swiss obviously has a little bit more problems with things. Okay. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Pound yen. This is the move that I'm talking about. We just don't have it here. We have the surge, and again, it was kind of helped a little bit here. Dollar CAD, same thing. The surge up, the dollar yen's already done it. Yesterday's surge, and then we pull all the way back. And here's where FOMC came out. Here's the origin of the FOMC move right there. Let's make sure you guys know that I'm not cheating here. Coordinates, copy, paste. There we go. Okay. We're basically back to the origin of the move. And that's why I said the dollar yen was going to be pretty challenging. Again, straight up, There was a decent kind of top put in, right? Once the top came here, and it's like, oh yeah, come back up again, right? You had a couple different opportunities to get in. It was actually not a bad little reversal play. 13 pips, a nice little run down. Again, going back to the origin of the move, it's 69 pips, so not a bad move there, right? To the downside. So yeah. Sorry, Kip just moved. He jumped. He's getting too big to be able to sleep on my lap at the desk. Right now, what do we do with this one? We got buyers just a little bit lower, right? We got confirmed buyers right here. It was the old 23.6. It's not a 23.6 now. It's not even a 50. 50 is a little bit lower. So yeah, yeah. Uh, I would say look for a potential bounce in here. It's not a horrible zone. Again, we should see the profit taking go in. It's just reversing back down again. But that 140, let's change this to right. Potential reversal level there at 146.40, 147.46. Okay. It used to be an old 23. It's not anymore because of the decent move. But again, you can see it maintained and held there before the news yesterday. Kind of a almost a telltale sign. And again, this was not my favorite news setup, but again, nice news burst, nice parabolic move, nice parabolic retracement. It is an area of buyers. The news was able to confirm that. So again, potential reversal level sitting right there. So watch that one. What do you got here, crude? All right, so crude. Gotta adjust some of these. These all came back down again. Funny enough, we missed this one by it's here. But anyway, it drove up, it grabbed the level, it ended up grabbing the top one, and then that was the reversal to the downside. Put this on a 30-minute. You guys can see there was the kind of the peak of it. We ended up driving through this bottom. This would have been. It did go. Did it use this one? It did. That should be here. Yeah, this one got pure steep and then based right here. So yes, it was going to break. That was out. Right now, I kind of like drawing this one. Target for oil, 88.92. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Here, oil prices turn higher 35 minutes ago. I love this. These are 30-minute candles, right? They reported what happened, right? Encouraging U.S. jobs data. It's fine. But again, it's just profit taking. So the one thing with oil too, okay, so again, not necessarily a parabolic move, but pretty strong up. We should see it retrace back down again. 88.92 is there. Again, we have I don't know if it's a tropical storm depression or whatever the heck you want to call it, but there is a storm forming. They don't know how severe it's going to be, but they do know it's going to hit. It's all going to depend on what kind of strength it does. It's expected they hit more the East Coast, kind of farther up from the Gulf, so it shouldn't have any type of disruption to oil. But for some reason, you know how these storms work. For some reason, if there's any type of turn and it decides that it's going to hit Florida, go across, there could be disruption. Again, severe weather tends to raise natural gas and crude oil a little bit. Right now, there's not enough data. I know we have like a 99% chance that we're going to have it hitting us on Saturday. And it's supposed to be pretty nasty with like 98% chance of rain, 90% chance of rain with like, gale force winds. So not the ideal uh, time to be outside. But when you do those, you tend to see, crude and natural gas insulate a little bit. I do think this one rolls back down again. I would love if we could be down here for tomorrow. Uh, where is the Friday? Right there. If we can get over, if we can get here like that would be awesome. Really, actually, where's the 90 mark? I'll be happy if we can get to like here. But this would be even better by Friday. But yeah, it'd be great if we could do it today. I'd be cool with that one. But anyway, my thinking right now on oil. Is this a top? Will oil go higher than $90? Yes, I do think it is. Is there going to be profit taking right now because of the move we've just had from really the European session forward? Yes. I think this is profit taking right now. I don't think oil is done. I do think there's a near term short on this one. Is there a great level? We kind of missed it a little bit. There was a 61.8 in there. Once this price came down, there was 61.8 sellers. And again, oil is a very technically traded market. There was actually, from this, if you go off the wick right here, right? If you look for the confirmation, that's exactly what we ran into. All right. So, yeah, you get that push. Natural gas. So, natural gas, I don't want to say artificially holding, but natural gas holding pretty well, right? We had the big spike up on Tuesday, the big kind of parabolic move back again, and then we kind of flatlined, right? There's inventory today. We'll see if the inventory, it says natural gas trading lower ahead of storage report as mild fall weather to cut demand. Again, we mentioned this before, but it's holding. Mild demand should mean that demand lower, supply higher, which should push this down, but it's actually holding. Again, I think this has a little bit to do with the weather scenario right now, with what could potentially be coming this weekend and any type of disruptions. Again, um, typically what you're seeing is anything in Pennsylvania. That tends to be where we get a lot of our natural gas. That's what causes the biggest price fluctuations. It's not supposed to hit there, but people are still cautious that, again, we got to bring natural gas in. So we'll see. But we are getting that time where we should start seeing this. Holding with mild fall weather doesn't make sense. It should be pushing in again. It may be because more people are rolling on the short side, so the price is being propped up a little bit as it holds. So we'll see. We'll see. We can take this off the top. We're going to adjust this just a bit higher up. Oh, I can't do it from this side. It's fine. So yeah, selling occurring all in here. So we got a lot to chop through. If we can clear through the top of that, maybe it punches higher. Again, I don't want higher natural gas either, but something along those lines. Buying wise, we got a while to go. There we go. All right, gold. All right, pretty close. Pretty close. We talked about getting up to 1950. Once it started to go here, we had a red, green, red that came out before the news, and then boom, it collapsed all the way back down. So we were calling for shorts. We were calling it again. It didn't cycle down; it cycled up, right? So again, we were looking for shorts, and the profit target would have been right here, and that's what you tagged this morning at 8 o'clock. So kind of telltale-ish, right? Again, gotta love it. Put a red, green, and red in right before the news came out. It's like, oh yeah. And we said this yesterday with that kind of like hawkish tone of we're gonna pause, but we're gonna raise it one more time this year. Kind of giving this that kind of certainty that they're gonna raise it, data dependent, and the fact that the Fed sees strong economic growth, that means that what they're doing is not screwing up the economy. So, kind of gives them the green light, right? And labor, yeah. Hey, today's labor data doesn't look like it's the end of the world. So, yeah, nice push, easy trade. I'll remove this to clean some of the things up on here. Again, this is still a zone in here, but we can kind of adjust it accordingly right now. You can see, it bounced off the 50 once and smashed through it. And it's continuing to push down again. 61, same thing. There are some buyers. I mean, let's see. Where's the 23 at? Let's go from top to bottom. 23 is sitting right here. Yeah, there'll probably be some sellers coming in. I don't think dollar strength is done yet. I think, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe later this afternoon, the profit taking comes in. Maybe. Um, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. If that is truly the bottom, we do rally up and we do push through this level. Make note that there is a small level sitting right there. Right. And there's the potential for shorts coming in at 1928. So, but 1920, I think it makes sense with where we are. I think it deserves to be lower, but it is what it is. Silver creeping back up a little bit. Again, we talked about chopping. Boom, boom. We came back down. We chopped again. We went through again, and we're chopping. So, kind of doing what we expected it to do. Same thing. There's some sellers in this one. Again, if you go from top to bottom right here, you can see between the 50 and 61.8, this entire level in here is a group of sellers. We'll see if this is the finally the straw that can kind of break the camel's back and punch through. You get all the humps here, camels, 2 humps. Um, it's there. If it wants to pump through, it's just going to be speculation. Again, I think it deserves to be down here, this 23-ish mark. 23 to 23.50 kind of makes sense right now. I do actually think, though, again, if people were thinking about this logically, not in a speculation method, which is what silver is, again, it should be 22.50, not 23. So a little high, but again, maybe tomorrow's data, maybe that helps us. Maybe that helps us. But again, not necessarily surprised. Excuse me. That's 3 guys. Right. Apple. World's ending, but Apple's going higher. Right. Again, we're playing with 175. It is what it is. Tesla. Tesla doesn't look as rosy. Big drop yesterday. Continue push. Tesla reporting planning battery storage factory construction in India. Of course they are. Not surprised at all. Not surprised. Not he's again not a dumb person. Um, Not surprised there. All right, so let's see what we've got here. VIX. Okay, look at the spike up and down in the VIX. Dollar 0.00. Right, dollar is fully back, but again, profit taking. We have the ability for profit taking to bring this back down to the 104.50 range. So that's what we expected to see. Let's see what we got here. So yesterday, again, yeah, we were wondering that if there was going to be a sell there. It looks like we were here for the news, so yeah, it would not have been a reversal for yesterday. Again, would not have wanted to play that one. There we go. All right, so if this is the bottom for the morning, and again, 10:30 reversals, this is when it should happen for the morning. There is actually a drop, a base in this one. And again, I'm on the 30 minutes, though. I know that's going to make it look a little different. But there is a base there, and there's a test, and that's a 23. So if we're able to rally up right now with a reversal, it looks like we may have a potential area for some selling coming in here at 44.38. Now, as far as opening print goes, it was sitting kind of right down here, 9.15. We're nothing tested. Again, there was a zone that it pulled back up to at 9.30. Could you have traded this pullback? It did rally up before then for the open. It was not a confirmed level, but it did rally back. So it absolutely could have been a trade for this morning. Um, is it the confirmed level that the rules for opening print explain? No, it was not a confirmed level. But the 915 drove us up into the level of drop base drop for the open with a push down. I don't think it. I don't think a 1 to 3 was in here though. 1 to 2 probably. Um, Actually, it did. There's 1 to 3. It did go past. Okay, so it actually did work. So again, not our true opening print. It's just a standard pullback. And again, pulling it, it's not a 23 or anything like that. But again, pulling back to a drop base drop at the open at a session rollover, and it would have worked. You can see that it did go past the dark green stops, right? The dark green stops. All right. NQ. NQ had the same pullback. Now, this had two levels. There was one here, right? And this was at 1500. So I think this one is kind of one of those, or 15,000, sorry. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't want to change the interval. I was looking for text. That's what it was. I was like, why is this not working? 15,000. We can put it on the top. We're going to put it on the right. We're going to change it black. Change it to. So you can see it was at 15,000 and then it'll punch in a little bit higher to this level and then drop. We're sitting there right now. We're at the 15,000 mark. We know that this is going to be an area. 15,000, huge, huge, huge psychological level. So right now, though, again, at the 23, magically two of these have this at the 23. You can see there's an area basing and there's a test at the 23. So again, a little bit more room to run on this one. But if price comes back up again, there is also a potential short sitting right there. 15,505.75. I'm sorry, 15,105.75 is where that one is. YM. All right. So for YM, there's a push. Okay. This one kind of has it too. There's your base. There's your confirmation. Getting close. Um, Russell or YM is the strongest on the board today. Again, opening prayer would have been nothing up here. It's pulled back to nothing. It's not a horrible zone. There will be people selling this one right here in this base of the 23. I think that the 34,700 level is probably better. It backstops at 34,752. So not the worst. Not the worst spot. I figured about like the short off or the long off of it, but it's confirmed. They're seller stepping in. So I don't. We'll see if we can get through the 10:30 time frame. I don't know if it'll make it or not. Here you go. This is why right? 1800. You know, remember that 15,000 mark? Yeah, this is 1800 over here. So we literally came down. We just drove straight into 1500. So yeah, let's run this. Let's see where the zone is. Yeah, see 23 base, kind of same thing. Basically the same trade on all three. So Yeah, and this has got to chop through this little zone here. But again, mirror tops, mirror tops. So it should be able to drive back up. It looks like 1822.4, right? 1822.4 is where that reversal. I love that. Literally turned. The low was 1799.9. So 1799.9. So, all right. Just the child here. Oh, but you're too big to stretch out like that. He's trying to get comfortable and stretch out, but he's just too big. His feet are all over the desk. So yeah, that's where I'd be looking to turn and flip. So that's kind of for today. I mean, big things. Obviously, the name of the game is going to be the dollar today. You can see this wick right here. Obviously, is going to kind of really make this a little bit strange today. Again, there is a gap there. There's a pullback. Again, I think this tearing back down again, coming back to the downside, really changes a lot of things today. Probably justified. Again, strong push up, gut reaction. Um, Market should, profit taking should bring this in. This changes around a lot today, so a lot of these levels. So we'll see how it goes. A lot of these should stabilize. We'll see how much more they can move. Existing home sales was down. We'll see what we can get monetary policy. But I really think that this 2 a.m. retail sales number for the pound could be that last little push. I do think this will be a miss. I don't think it's going to come in as expected. And then tomorrow's data, maybe there's just some prizes trying to get a little bit closer. None of them are really at the risk of bouncing over that 50 minus the U.S. flash services. But again, it could be if the pound flash and manufacturing comes in about where it was, and then some of the European or German data is ugly. Again, that could really reverse this euro pound over here, as well as some of the other European based data. We'll see a kind of retracement. Like euro yen, I think could be a big one tomorrow morning. All right. There we go. Now he's dead weight on my shoulder. So that's where we're at. Decent news to trade the next 24 hours. Obviously, all the reactions from FOMC, we knew it was going to be big. There's big moves out there. Hopefully, you guys are able to capture it. So, is what it is. All right, let's move over. Let's do the giveaway. Oh, look at this. Well, there's only 3 of you. You're all sleeping today. Everybody's sleeping today. Look at this. So I'm going to give it our traditional, 2:30. And we'll see how it goes. I wonder what Debbie's doing. Debbie's here Monday, Tuesday. Then she missed yesterday, missed today. It's 2 days, Debbie. Hopefully Debbie's not sick. She may be babysitting. Right, here we go. Close it down. This one will be an easy one today. Look at this. No single ticket entries, though. And what's up with Will? Did Will mess this up? I didn't even look in chat. I don't see Will messing it up. Will, I know, watches him later. Will, you won yesterday. Look at Ernest. I think you scared him. I think that's what it is. I think you scared Will. He was so concerned. I was like, oh my God, I stopped this streak. I stopped this streak. All right, winner today's drawing is Ernest takes it. Ernest takes it with him. What did you have? 66%? Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have all the single ones in there. Yep. Didn't have all the single ones. Give Ernest his 25 chips. Negative today, playing the long game. And as long as Will doesn't show up, Will can't win. So that's how it works. Neuro's on a drought now. I'm telling you, Neuro, you're on a drought, my friend. Will is like taking over, right? And then doesn't show up today. So, oh, look. Surprisingly, Dovis BHZ, right? But another hike is possible. Man, I called this one. Super excited. All right, with that, guys, I'm out of here. So you guys have a good one. Take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, some good trades in there to be made the next 24 hours. So, again, a lot of people are getting that FOMC hangover, but it is what it is. Have a good one. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.